everyone, welcome back to new content of Cybroses. So in today's video, we will discuss about how to set up Odoo 18 development environment using PyCharm in Ubuntu 22.04 version. So we know Odoo 18 is the latest version of Odoo and it has got some robust functionalities and effective in streamlining the business operations. And the version is developed with Python 3.10 for the backend and it uses PostgreSQL as its database and relies on JavaScript for its front-end interface. Now, in Ubuntu 20.04, we have a long-term support release provide a stable environment with a regular updates and security patches for years, and it offers a periodic update for the Linux kernel versions and graphic drivers, enhancing the system performance and compatibility. So in this video, I'll guide you through the setting up of the environment for Odoo 18 using PyCharm IDE on Ubuntu 20.04. So the priority is for configuring PyCharm, and it is important to install the several essential libraries and packages requiring for running Odoo. Additionally, we will cover up all the setup of SQL, Python environment and managing dependencies. So let's dive into the details of these preliminary steps and ensure the system is fully prepared for your Odoo development. First, we just need to download and install the PyCharm IDE. And before installing that, we just need to keep certain things in mind that our machine has to meet certain basic requirements to run PyCharm smoothly. So here you can see the requirement of the system. I have provided the minimum requirement and the recommended requirement of the machine. So it's better to have 4 GB of RAM, or it's recommended to use 8 GB of RAM in your system. And you can just use any modern CPUs. It can be a multi-core CPU, or PyCharm leverages multi-threading for various operations and process, allowing it to perform the faster with increased numbers of CPU cores. And you should have a minimum disk space of 3.5 GB, or you can either use SSD drives with at least 5 GB of free space. And your monitor resolution must be of 1024 by 768, or it should have a recommendation of 920 by 1080. And you should have an operating system which is officially released with 64-bit versions of the following. It can be Microsoft Windows 10 or later versions of Windows Server, or you can just use Linux distributions or any other OS and all. And it's better to use the 64-bit version of Windows or Mac OS or Linux. For example, it can be Debian, Ubuntu and all. Now let's see how can we install the PyCharm for downloading the Debian installation file from the following URL. So either you can just go with the pycharm-community region download, or here alternatively you can install the PyCharm using the command lines. So in order to use the command lines, first we have to open the terminal. Either you can just go with the keys like Ctrl-Alt-T to launch the terminal, or you can directly open that. So I have already opened my terminal, so let me just dive into my terminal. Before that, let me copy this code. So first, this will update all the packages in my system. Now, let me just move on to the terminal. So when you just move on to the terminal, you just need to paste that command over here. So in order to paste that command, you can just use Ctrl-Shift-V. This would allow you to paste the commands and click on enter, and you have to provide the password of your system. So I'll be providing the password of my system over here, which will be invisible for the external users. And let me click on enter, and you can see that the working is just has started. Now we just need to copy the second command. So once it's updated, we just need to upgrade everything. Okay. So let me just dive into the block that we were dealing with. And here you can see we have to copy the other code. And let me copy the other code by choosing Ctrl-C as the key, and you can just dive into the terminal and you can just paste this command line over here. Use Ctrl-Shift-V in order to paste the command line and click on enter. So you can see it takes some time in order to load everything, and if we want to just continue with the process, just go with while and click on enter again, and here you can see that we are just fetching everything from the OS. And here you can see we have just done with the process. Now let me dive into the blog, and in the blog we have to choose sudo snap install pycharm-community classic. So currently we have just updated the packages of the OS, and we have upgraded that. And finally we just need to install the pycharm-community. Okay, so pycharm-community is basically a free version of pycharm. If you're just going with pycharm professional, it will be a paid version, so it's better to choose the pycharm-community edition. So I'll be copying the command, and let's dive into the terminal in order to install the pycharm. So pycharm is an IDE where we just write the code. So we need pycharm in order to write the code. So you can just use Ctrl-Shift-V in order to paste the command line and click on enter, and you can see that it takes time to install the pycharm because we just need to load everything over here. So we have successfully installed the pycharm from JetBrains, and if you want to just view that, let me just make this over here, and let's search for pycharm, and here you can see that we have successfully installed pycharm. Now let's dive into the terminal itself, and let's make it full screen, and let's move on to the blog for installing Python 3.12. So Python 3.12 is the latest version, and this won't be available in your Ubuntu repositories by default. So we just need to install that, and we need to add an alternative repository, that is the deadsnakes repository. And from that, we will be getting the Python packages, including the Python 3.12. So to add the deadsnakes repository, first we have to use a command line, that is sudo apt-repository ppa deadsnakes ppa, and I'll be using that command. So let me just copy that, and let's dive into the terminal itself, and let's paste it over here. And you can just click on enter, and we just need to provide the password of our system, and it takes time to load everything. So now we are just going to get all the packages over here. Now if you want to just continue with the process, again we just need to click on enter, and here you can see that it takes time to fetch everything, every packages, and we are just fetching everything. So we just need to wait for a while. So currently we have rated every package list over here. Now let's again dive into the blog, and we just need to update everything right now. To update everything, you can again copy this command, and let's move on to the terminal, and we can just paste this. So in order to paste the command line, we can just use Ctrl-Shift-V and again click on enter, and here it's working. And once it's completed reading the packages, you can see it's 10. Now let's dive into the blog again, and if you want to verify the updated list of packages, then you can just use this command, or you can just neglect this. And if you want to just go with that, you can go, or you can directly go to install with the Python 3.12 by running the following command. So let me just use this code. So I have just copied that code. As it was a single code, I will be using this icon to copy the code. And let me again dive into the terminal in order to paste this command in the terminal. So you can just use Ctrl-Shift-V and click on enter, and you can see that currently we are just going to download Python 3.12, which is the interpreter. So click on Y in order to continue with the process, and here you can see that we are just connecting to the PPA, and we are just going to get everything from the deadsnake, and finally we are just going to launch it in our system. So the interpreter will be finally downloading in our system. And you can see that currently we are just running with that, and we are about to fetch everything. And here you can see it's setting up, and currently we have just downloaded Python 3.12. And now let me just dive into the blog again, and you can see that we have just installed the Python 3.12. Now to install the necessary packages for Python 3.12, we have to use a code over here. So let me copy that code and let's dive into the terminal again and let's paste that and click on enter. And here you can see we just need to continue with the process, go with Y in order to continue, and it takes time to load everything. So here you can see that the percentage of loading and everything. So we have to just wait for a while in order to load everything. So currently we have installed everything, and we can just dive into the blog again. And here you can see that we just need to install web dependencies. So if we want to just manage with the things related to web, we just need to go with sudo apt-get install -y npm, and let me choose a code over here, and let's dive into the terminal and choose Ctrl+Shift-V and click on enter. And here you can see we are just working on that, and once the working is completed, here you can see that will be done over there with every fetching of the data over there. And here you can see unpacking and extractions are taking place. Okay, finally we have just done with that, and let's dive into the terminal. I mean, not to the terminal, to the blog, and let's install the bin node.js. And to install that, we have to copy the code. Let's dive into the terminal again, and we are just repeating the process in order to manage with the installation. Okay, and again you can just dive there, and let me choose sudo npm install -g less plugin clean css. So you can just copy the code, and let me just dive into the terminal in order to manage with the other code. And here you can again click on enter, and here you can see we have just done with that, and one package is looking for funding, and we just found 0 vulnerabilities. And let's dive into the blog again. Now we just need to install the Node.js, and to install all the web dependencies, you have to just go with all these command lines, okay? And later on, you can just dive into the terminal, and let's provide the command over here. And again, click on enter, and you can see we are just working on that, and we are just processing in order to fetch everything, okay? Now what we have to do is, again, let's dive into the terminal, and we just need to install the wk-html to PDF. So in order to generate the Odoo reports, we have to install these package. To install that package, you can just copy the code, and let's dive into the terminal again, and let's choose Ctrl+Shift-V in order to paste everything, and click on enter. And you can see it takes time to install all those packages, and we have just done with that. Let's dive into the blog again. And now the next step is that we just need to install the PostgreSQL, and it is to manage the database and the data that we are just dealing in our Odoo. So you can just copy the code, and here you can see that sudo apt to install PostgreSQL and SQL client. And after installation, we have to configure a database user role for the Odoo database, okay? So first we have to just dive into the terminal, and let me click on Ctrl+Shift-V in order to paste that, and click on enter. Currently you can see that we just need to continue the process. Click on Y, and we are just going to enter into the PostgreSQL, and it takes time to load everything. And you can see once the progress is done, we have loaded everything, and we will be getting into the SQL, and afterwards we just need to create a new user, okay? Now to create a new user or configure a new user, you have to copy that sudo su Postgres. So this would allow you to enter into the Postgres. So let me just dive into the terminal and choose Ctrl+Shift-V, and click on enter. And let's again dive into the blog and choose the other one, other command, in order to create a database user for Odoo database. So you can just dive into the terminal, and let's choose Ctrl+Shift-V over here and click on enter. And here you can provide the password. So I'll be providing my password over here. Okay, click on enter so that you have to re-enter the password. So I'll be providing the password again and click on enter. Next, we have to grant the super user privilege to the specified user. So you can just use PSQL over there. So just copy that and let's dive into the terminal. And now we can just paste that command over here, click on enter. And let's again back to the blog and alter the user with Odoo with the super user. So you can just copy this command and let's dive into the terminal and let me provide the code over here and click on enter. And now we just need to again go back to the blog, and here you can see that finally we just need to exit from both SQL and Postgres. So if you want to just exit from the SQL, you can just use the /q and afterwards you will be exiting from the query, and this exit allow you to exit as the user from the Postgres. Okay, so I'll be just exiting from here. So let's move on to the ping, and you can just use backward q and click on enter, and now you can just exit from the Postgres. Now click on enter again, and currently we have just exit from the Postgres. Okay, now let me dive into the blog again, and we just need to obtain the Odoo 18 source code. So in order to acquire the Odoo 18 community source code, you can just directly go into the Odoo's GitHub repository, or you can alternatively use the clone using Git. And firstly, for that, we have to install the Git by running the following command. Okay, so let me copy the code and let's dive into the terminal and let's paste that and click on enter, and it takes time to install everything. Again, let's back to the blog over here, and here you can see that in order to install the Odoo 18 source code, here you can find the code. So here the Odoo 18 is the name of the folder. As we just want to install the branch 18, here you can see we have just provided that. Okay, so let me just copy this code again and let's dive into the terminal, and let's click on Ctrl-Shift-V in order to paste that and click on enter. And here you can see that cloning is taking place, and we just need to wait for a while. And it takes time to load everything because we are just cloning everything. So we just need to get every packages and everything. So just wait a while. So currently we have just cloned everything over here, and now let's dive into the blog, and here you can see that currently we have successfully installed Odoo 18. Now the next step is that we just need to open the PyCharm project, and we just need to launch the Odoo directory into our PyCharm. So in order to do that, first we have to just move on to the PyCharm. So we can just search for the PyCharm. So search for the PyCharm over here, and it takes time to open the PyCharm. Now you can see that it's sponsored by the JetBrains, and here we are just going to confirm that we have just read all the terms and conditions of the user agreement and click on continue. And we does not need to share our data, so click on don't send, and it takes time to open. And here you can see different options such as new project, open add-on. So I'll be clicking on open, and here you can see that Odoo 18. So I'll be choosing Odoo 18 over here. Now click on OK, and here just enable trust project in home site browsers, and yeah, let's click on trust project and all, and currently we are opening the project over here, and you would be able to find that the Odoo 18 has just launched over here. Okay, so the next step is that we just need to create a virtual environment over here. In order to create the virtual environment, here you would be able to find the terminal. So let me choose the terminal, and as you just choose the terminal, we have to provide certain codes over here. Okay, So first, let me just minimize that, and here you can see that we have just done with everything. So in order to manage with the virtual environment, first we have to install the curl of Python 3.12. So let me copy that. So I'm going to choose the code from here, that is installation of the code. Now you can just install it from here. So move on with Control-Shift-V and click on enter, and here you can see command not found but can install with sudo snap install curl. So first we have to install the curl. So again, just copy that and click on Control-Shift-V and let's install the curl. So you have to provide the password over here. Click on the password, and here you can see download snap core 20, and it's getting loading over here. So currently you can see that we are just creating the virtual environment, and here you can also find the interpreter that we are just using for this environment is Python 3.12. And we haven't completed the download yet, so we just need to wait for a while. Okay, so we have just done with that, and now here you can just click on OK, and here you can see we have just successfully installed the curl. Now let me click on OK, and let's move on to the other code or commands. So here, now let me just again copy the same command and let's paste it over here. Either you can just go over here, or you can just dive into the pycharm, and under the pycharm terminal you can just manage with that. So currently you can see that we are installing the packages. Now let me again move on to the blog, and we just need to install the environment, right? So let me copy that, and here let's dive into the pycharm and click on Control-Shift-V, and let's set everything for the virtual environment. And while creating the virtual environment, we have to set the name of the virtual environment. Okay, here we just need to create a virtual environment. To create a virtual environment, you can just copy this code, and let's dive into the pycharm, and over here we have to paste that. So use Control-Shift-V in order to paste that, and here you can provide the name of your venv. So you can see we can just erase this, and I'll be providing the name over here as venv Odoo 18. Either you can just give the name as Odoo 18 only, but I'll be providing the name as venv Odoo 18 in order to avoid the confusion. Now let me click on enter, and here you can see that it takes time to process, and we have just done with that. Now we just need to check whether it's active or not. So if it's not automatically activated, which means the venv is not automatically activated, we have to create a venv, activate that venv. In order to activate the venv, here you can see that we have to provide this the code over there. So let me copy the code, and let's move on to the pycharm and provide the code. So let's click on Control-Shift-V. Later on, we have to make slight changes over here by providing the name of the venv. So I'll be providing the name of the venv over here as venv Odoo 18. And again, you can see click on enter. And here you can see that now we have created the venv. And the created venv is currently activated, and you can find the created venv over here. Okay. And now the next process is that we just need to install the required Python packages. So we have Odoo depends on several Python packages listed in the file required located in the Odoo 18 directory. So install all those packages. We have to execute this command in the terminal. So let me just copy the command over here, and again let's dive into the terminal, and we just need to install that. So you can just go with Control-Shift-V and yeah, let me paste that and click on enter, and here you can see that we are just collecting with all the packages. And the next step is that if no errors occurs, you can use the following command to verify that all the dependencies list in the requirement text have been successfully installed. So use pip list over there in the terminal. So let's paste it over here and click on enter again. And here you can see we have just done with that. And what we have to do is now, if you encounter any error, you can just open the required text file and install each dependency individually using pip install. Then you can provide the requirement name. So if you just find any package issues like with the pillow package or any other package with the PDFs and all, you can just move on by providing the name of the package name using pip install over there. So currently we have just created that, and now we just need to create the Odoo conf file in the Odoo 18 directory, okay? And we just need to provide all these things over there. So let me copy this code over there from here, and let's move on to the pycharm, and here you can find the Odoo directory, and we can just click on the right button and click on new and choose a file. As you just choose a file, here we have to just provide it as odoo.conf, and this is the configuration file of Odoo, and click on enter. And what we have to do is we have to copy all these commands over here. Now here you can see that the admin password and the DB host and the DB port number and the DB user and all. Now here you can set the DB password. So I'm going to set a DB password over here as cool. You can set the password according to your choice, and I'll be using the path over here. Now I just need to change the add-ons path over here. So let me change the add-ons path. So here you can find the add-ons, and let's choose Control-Shift-C in order to copy this, and click on Control-V so that you will be getting the exact path. And currently we have just placed the exact path over here. And later on, let's back to the block that we are just dealing with. And here you can see we just need to add the Python interpreter right now. Now let's see how can we add the Python interpreter. For that, you can just go to the settings. Under the settings, we can find the Odoo project, and under the Python interpreter, here you can see there is no interpreter. So as you just click on the drop down menu here, this shows the available interpreters. So for the time being, I will be using Python 3.12 as my interpreter. Or if you want to add a new interpreter, you can just click on add interpreter, and here this would allow you to add the new interpreter. So you can see the interpreter that is currently we are using is new interpreter. So if you want to just continue with this, you can just continue that. For the time being, I have already chosen an interpreter over here. Now I just need to apply that. So let's click on apply and click on OK, so that the interpreter will be applied, and we are just using Python 3.12 as the interpreter, and it shows the current interpreter over here. Under the current file, choose edit configuration, and here you can just move on to the plus icon and choose Python. You can provide the name over here. I'm going to provide the name as Odoo 18. And later on here you can see the when, and here we just need to provide the script. So to provide the script, we have to use the Odoo bin file. So as you just move on to the Odoo, here you will be able to find the Odoo bin file over here. So choose the Odoo bin file and click on OK. So currently we have choose the Odoo bin file under the script, and we also need to set the script parameter. So the script parameter is -c odoo.conf. So while running this configuration, Odoo configuration, we can just move on to the to the database creation and all. Now here we have to choose a working directory. So click on the folder over here, and here you can see we are just going to choose a working directory, that was Odoo 18, and you can just click on OK. And later on you can just apply this settings, and let's click on OK again. And here you can see that currently we have only set the add-ons path, and if you want to add the enterprise and all, you can just add that. Now you can see the file over here. So let me just copy this file. So in order to copy this file, you can just click on Control C, and let's move on to the home. And here you can find the Odoo 18, which is that is a working directory. And inside the Odoo 18, we have to set the file. So I'll be setting the enterprise version over here. So it takes times to load everything, and currently we have loaded every packages of this folder. And what we have to do is just minimize this, okay? And you would be able to find that the Odoo 18 enterprise is currently loaded inside the Odoo, and we just need to copy the path of this enterprise version. To copy the enterprise path, you can just choose Ctrl-Shift-C, okay? So if you're only using Ctrl-C, it will only just copy the name of the folder. So in order to get the path, you have to use Ctrl-Shift-C, and here we have set the path. And again, we can just click on stop and run, and we are just going to run this file. And here you can see it takes time, and either you can just choose Cybros's, your system with the port number, and or you can just go like localhost with the port number. So let me just choose a browser over here. So you can just search for Google. Now let's search for localhost 8018. That is the port number of the database. And here you can see we just need to change the master password. So as you just move on to the section here, you can see the admin password, which you have to set it as the master password. So in my case, I have given admin password as admin, and I'll be using that as the master password. So admin is my master password, and I'm gonna give the name of the database as enterprise 18.1.1. You can just customize your name, and I'll be using the mail as admin, and the password as admin itself. So you can just set the email and password as same, and the email will be treated as the username. And if you want to enable the demo data, you can just enable this field and click on create database, and this will create the database. And here you can see we have to wait for a while in order to create the database. So currently we have just created the database. You can just click on OK, and we just need to open the database right now. So here you can see admin is the email, and I have provided the password as well. And you can just click on login, and as the password is wrong, you have to provide the password properly. So I have just given my password as admin itself. So let me click on login. And here you can see that currently we have opened everything. So if you just need to update the password, you can just update that. And now we just need to install certain apps. To install the certain apps, you can just move on to the apps. And you can see you can just install these apps by clicking on activate. And this would allow you to activate the apps. So it takes time to load all the packages and everything. So once it's done, the sales modules as well as the dependence module will be activated in our database. So currently you can see that we have installed the sales module and its dependence module. So that's all about dealing with the installation of Odoo 18